They activate that NOS. They activate that NOS shit and go, goo. And they're going so fast, they're activating hyperspeed. They're going to plan. But they see Brian's like, oh, and Dom's like, whoa. And they see a fucking train's a coming, chat. They see that hype train a coming. It's going choo, choo, chugga, 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 chugga. They're like, whoa, we gonna make it? Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content on my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games. I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video. Chat, salute, as Vin Diesel would say, salute, family, bro, family. Speaking of family, bro, family, vroom, vroom. We got to go ahead and get my review of The Fast and the Furious, chat. Got a lot to say about this film. But, chat, before I get into all that good stuff, I must ask you a very simple question. How many of you have seen The Fast and the Furious, the original 2001 entry in the Fast and Furious saga? Yes, it's a fucking saga now, chat. It's a saga. Black Citizen, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. X-Men also like, nope. Can't say not yet, but want to. Newsy Ducky, there would be an alien side. Oh no, my tummy. Yep, just watch it today. Oh, then you're going to keep me on task. So you'll point out all the stuff I missed, which I'm sure I will. I've only seen parts of Hamilton Burger. Nick Darks, of course, saw it multiple times. Knowing one a long time ago. Axel, have not seen any of them. Wow, Red Wing, so long ago, I don't remember much. This is interesting. The DVD set of the quadrilogy when it was just 4 movies. That's funny. He's ducking. No, I've not seen it and never will. Damn. All right, shit. Well, you're gonna watch him through me. That's how you'll do it. Brandon, I have seen it, but it's been a long time. 20 years. It's been a long time. I've seen The Fast and Furious, which is totally not Point Break at all. Honestly, Chad, if you watch Point Break, you've seen Fast and Furious. You watch Fast and Furious, you've seen Point Break. It works out. Car flips, right? The cars do flip. They actually do flip, and they actually have the actors, like, and the characters get injured a lot in the movie. Like, the big action scene in this film, it's like, this is pretty realistic. This is like, yeah, I can see this. Where they cannot, before they could defy gravity, like, it's... I'll be watching all these by next week. We'll be like into 4, 5, and 6, where it'll be fucking nuts. And so I can't wait, chat. This movie is so fucking grounded. Thank you, Mordecai. I've been with the franchise since the start. Even played the arcade game when it was just 3 movies. Wow. People, it's actually like, hey, Juice, I have an idea. If you ever play with Martin's, again, let him play GTA 5. That'll be fun. Yeah, no, he likes GTA 5 too a lot. His daughters play it all the time. So we can definitely do that, chat. I like it. Seen bro movie, bro, dumb. That's true. This is kind of before that whole bro, vroom, dumb family thing was like just such a part of the franchise. I mean, it's there. It's in this movie, chat. I mean, it really is. I mean, he doesn't even say the fucking lines like, I don't got friends. I got family. Vin Diesel, he does, Dominic Toretto, chat, damn. He does say some of his classic lines. I mean, when it comes to, like, his whole, his look at life, chat. He tries to avoid an existential crisis, chat. He's just trying to live his life a quarter mile at a time. It's keeping it very fucking simple, chat. People died. People actually fucking died in this movie, chat. I was shocked by it. Peter Pansexual, thank you for the 2 gifted subs. So kind of you. Thank you, and congratulations to Sweet Tooth Willie and Moderads. Or Modradits. Moderads, thank you. No, congratulations, guys. You probably was 5 minutes long ad free. Thank you, Peter Pansexual. Appreciate that. But no, there are stakes. People get injured, they get really fucked up. Where a gunshot, it doesn't just like, you just don't shake it off and move on to the next scene. Like, you get shot, it's like, oh my God, I'm gonna bleed out and die. It's like, no, it's pretty realistic. It's damn near close to being realistic, chat. I'll give it that. Give you a brief background on the film. This was directed by Rob Cohn, who I don't believe has come back to direct any other films in the franchise, although he has directed some stuff like, the Triple X film with Vin Diesel, the original one at the very least. I mean, he's done a lot of action films. Let me go ahead and actually look at his filmography. He's done Fast and Furious, Triple X, Alex Cross, The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, Stealth. So the Hurricane Heist is his, wow, he went from the Fast and Furious to the Hurricane Heist, chat. Oofa. Yeah, well, can't always stay on top forever, chat. The movie, of course, stars. This was actually a starring vehicle for Paul Walker, who I previously, I think, worked with Rob Cohn in a film called Skulls, about the Skull and Crossbones Secret Society at Harvard or whatever, or Princeton or whatever the fuck it was. I forget what it is. Thank you, Doug Sheffield. There's stakes in this movie. There are stakes, like most of the late. There is true. There's stakes and there's consequences, and people make mistakes and they pay for them, with their lives. It's like, oh shit, all right, fair enough. Mordecai, I just realized Fast and Furious is the most successful video game franchise because I believe the arcade game came first. Correct me, I'm wrong. Did it? I don't think so. I think the movies came first, I believe. I don't think it, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know, actually. But this was actually a starring vehicle for Paul Walker. He is technically the main character of this movie. Also co-starring Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez, Jordana Brewster, chat. A whole bunch of other actors in there as well. But this is kind of like, their film that first established all these characters. The movie was a commercial success, chat. At a box office about $207.3 million on a budget of $38 million. It's very respectable. It's crazy. Like when $207.3 million was like, oh, that's perfect. Made her money back, made some extra cash. Great. Now this fucking franchise is bringing over a fucking $1 billion per film. If not over $1 billion, which is pretty impressive, chat. Don't forget Tyrese. Tyrese is in Too Fast, Too Furious. You're getting ahead of me. Slow your roll. We'll get to Tyrese soon. The film also kind of received pretty middling reviews from critics, very mixed reviews. Some people liked it, some people did not. But despite all that, I think this franchise in general, certain the latest films, everything 4 on, has been critic-proof. Each movie, I think, has made more money than the last one, so it doesn't matter how stupid it gets yet. People just love this franchise. They love the action. They love the characters. They love the whole family appeal, the bro, the vroom, space, because I'm going to be flying up into space soon. They love that shit. They love the escalation, chat. And I do, too. I've indulged in it. I mean, I like some of the Fast Furious films more than others. Thank you, Mordecai Activities. Here's 2 bits. I was wrong there. I could get 2004, 3 years later. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I mean, the Fast and Furious, game is based off the Fast and Furious movies. But thank you for the 2 biddies. But, I mean, there's some entries in the first, like others. Like, I think the first film, I'll tell you right now, this is a solid action thriller, chat. I mean, it's Point Break. It's Point Break, where you have an FBI agent / police officer, what have you, trying to ingratiate himself towards a criminal who they believe is stealing. When the fucking L.A. precinct, chat, when their fucking big bust operation is trying to stop these street racers from stealing combination DVD VHS players, Panasonic TVs, it's like, wow. where are we, the humble beginnings, chat, of the Toretto family. It's incredible, chat. But that's where we start off with. It's pretty much the same thing as Point Break, chat, where you have this police officer / FBI agent, what have you, trying to ingratiate himself to these criminals, chat, and falling in love with the family. And he has to make a big decision. He has to come up with the one final decision, like, do I stick with the family or do I go and arrest all these schmucks for my, for that's part of my job, to put these criminals behind bars. Like, that is the decision Brian, our character Brian O'Connor, must make. Paul Walker, chat. That is straight up the same fucking plot from Point Break. Some minor differences, sure, but it's pretty much the same movie. You can literally watch Point Break and you'd be like, yep, you've already seen the Fast and the Furious. If you watch the Fast and the Furious, you've seen Point Break. Not much difference between them, chat. Very similar, very similar. But hey, we're not reviewing Point Break today, chat. We're reviewing the Fast and Furious, although this will count as my review of Point Break. So just I'll let you know. But chat, let's go ahead and get started with the nitty-gritty details, chat. We start in downtown Los Angeles, chat, and the most unrealistic thing in this movie is that we're following a lone truck driving down a fucking freeway with not a single car in sight. I have been to LA one time, chat, and I have seen what fucking traffic looks like post 5 p.m., okay, Pacific Standard Time, and it is a goddamn nightmare. It takes literally, even though it says on your GPS, it'll take you 10 minutes to get there. Add an extra 45 minutes, chat. I have never seen such awful traffic in my life. Like, forget, I-35, the highway I drive to get up to Austin, chat. It's like, no, fuck I-35. I owe you an apology, because the goddamn highway in Los Angeles is one of the worst things I've ever seen when it comes to driving. Holy shit. It takes a long time. So the most unrealistic thing in this movie, chat, is the lack of traffic. I'm like, watching this like, why is there no cars around? It's because, well, they had to shut down all these fucking roads, which must have pissed so many people off when they made this movie, because that just increased traffic even more in other areas because they had to go around the production. I would have been fucking livid. DT Ducks in 5 minutes, that shit would have been congested and they'd take an hour to get to the truck. Exactly. They would have never gotten to it. They would, you know what? They wouldn't even need their fucking harpoons and tow cables. They could just walked up to the truck, threw the guy out, but then they'd have nowhere to fucking go. They would have had more luck literally opening up the fucking truck and the guy been like, you know what, fucking let him have it. I'm just so hot in here. It's 100 fucking degrees. The humidity's 100%. Let him have it. And they would fucking have to carry all these giant Panasonic combination VHS DVD players down the fucking freeway, and they might get away or they might not. The cops get them, but they'd be too exhausted. They would just drop the shit and just stop over at a gas station and get a fucking couple of packs of Corona. That's what the Fast and Furious would have been, chat. That's the realistic Fast and the Furious. Exactly. But Family Bro Bro, no, Family Bro Bro. Family Bro Bro would not be able to battle LA traffic. That is a fucking fact. And that's the one problem I have with this movie. Witness me! X-Power Gaming, thank you, it's great. Everybody on the dance floor, right? Thank you, thank you, thank you. The Stuck in Traffic and the Furious. Exactly, that should have been the title of that movie. Oh, my Lord. But, Chad, we follow this lone truck driving down a mysterious freeway. This guy should have known. They should, no one goes down that freeway because the family, bro, vroom, vroom crew always steal stuff. And the guy went, fuck it, I don't give a shit. And he's driving his fucking truck filled with Panasonic TVs and DVD, VHS combination players, Chad. And we see these 4 big black cars come out of nowhere, Chad. And they have this cool like neon green lights underneath the cars and looks like sci-fi and spy stuff. I like it. And they go on either side of the car. So you got 2 big black cars on the right and the left, and you got one in the front and one in the back, chat. So the guy's blocked in. And the one guy in front, he's got a buddy, and this guy pops open the moonroof, and he has a fucking harpoon and tow cable from Star Wars, chat. It's like the snow speeders. Remember, it's like fire a harpoon on tow cables. It'll tangle them up. And he fires it into the fucking car. And the harpoon goes right fucking through the window, takes the window out, and he fires another harpoon and tow cable, goes right in there and sticks to the fucking seat. And the guy, climbs over to it. And this, another unrealistic thing. The truck driver apparently has not decided just to pull over and just give him all the stuff. This truck driver is like, fuck it. I am going to fight back. And he has a goddamn tire iron, and he just starts whacking this guy. The guy's like, stop it, bro, stop it. And he has to pacify the driver. The thing is, Chad, even if the driver fought back and defeated the whole bro, vroom, vroom family crew, he would have still been fired. Because the policy is, this comes to a lot of things, Chad. If you're store's being robbed, if you're like a cashier at a store or you're a teller at a bank, if you fight back and you stop them, it won't matter because you'll still fire you because you could possibly endanger other people along with yourself. So they say, just give him the fucking money. Just do it or give him whatever. You stop off to the side, you give him the money. This guy's like, apparently he didn't read that part of the manual because he's fucking just whacking this guy. But this mysterious individual, chat, who's clothed in a black biker helmet, all black too. He punches him out, and they pop open the back of the fucking truck, chat. And what do we see? Panasonic TVs, chat. Ooh, with VHS, hold on, and DVD player combinations. Oh, and they're like, hell yeah, we're gonna sell these. And then, chat, we cut and we see a very blonde, pale-looking man, chat, named Brian. And he's pulled his red pickup truck next to this little shop, chat, this little grocery store combination sandwich shop, chat, and it's called Toretto's Place. Very apt name. Thank you, Deacons of the 5 days. Usually those shipments would be insured. They would be insured anyway, so they'd be making money. It doesn't make any sense. So the way the driver's just like, woo! And we're not even, listen. And if you thought that driver was crazy, oh, just wait. Just fucking wait. Panasonic CRT TVs, that's true. I forgot the CRT chat TVs. That's a fact. But we follow this blonde, pale, and handsome man, Brian, chat, and he gets out of this red pickup truck. He works for a car shop, one of the most popular car shops in LA. If you want to get an extra, car part for your car, you go to this fucking car shop. And he's like, well, I'm done for the day, or I'm on my lunch break, and so I'm going to get what I love most, what I've been craving. And apparently what Brian O'Connor, chat, has been craving is a tuna fish sandwich no crust, tomato, and a fucking milk box. Are you 5? Are you in middle school, Brian? What is with this lunch? And he goes up there, chat, but he's not there for that tuna fish without the crust, chat. He's there for that hot piece of ass. Mia Toretto, chat, because he's always staring at her big booty. By the way, the booty butt shots in this film, they are copious, chat. There are so many of them, female and male. I mean, all the guys look fucking great. They all got fucking guns, chat. It's like, Jesus Christ. Dom, put away the fucking guns. You can't carry those on the street. And he has to wear a jacket occasionally, chat. But Jesus, the copious amounts of shots of women's asses in this is like, all right, guys, let's settle down. Let's take it easy. It's like every shot, women's butt, booty cheeks jiggling, all that. But he's like, he sits down, he goes, hey, hi, Mia. And she's like, hi, Brian, same as usual. He goes, you know, I love it. She goes, what, the same fucking crappy sandwich you always get? And he's like, I love that crappy sandwich. He goes, mm-hmm. And the background chat, he spots him. You can tell it's fucking him because you can see the fucking just sheen coming off that Mr. Clean fucking bald head of his, chat. It's Dominic Toretto, chat, and he's working on something back there, but he's listening to this conversation between Brian and his sister. Thank you to the Vibe Base. Man, get a cheeseburger, fries, and a Coke. Something else than that. Ooh, we'll get to that in a second. Thank you for the Vibe Base, by the way. But she serves him up, and he's like reading a magazine, which he's not going to fucking buy. At least buy the fucking magazine, you prick. But he's reading this magazine as he's eating his middle school lunch, complete with milk box and tuna fish without the crust. But then who fucking rolls up, chat? Aw, shit. We have Dom's girl, Letty, chat, played by Michelle Rodriguez. She rolls up. By the way, Michelle Rodriguez is a beautiful one. And she looks hot here. This is when she was going through a lot of personal issues and substance abuse problems. And you can tell she's like a little off, you know, kilter. She's when she stares at you, like, I'm just kind of scared with her staring at me. And when she's able to look down, like, what the fuck you looking? I was like, nothing. I'm sorry. And even when the fucking cameraman focuses on her ass, she's like, I'm going to let you look. But you know I could beat the shit out of you. Okay, keep looking at my ass. She's like that kind of girl in this movie. No name, woman, think of it, anybody sounds about right for early 2000s. Oh, yeah. I mean, oh, by the way. The soundtrack for this film is awful. Like, all the music is late 90s, 2000s era, kind of like techno. And, like, I like some techno music, but it's just that. It's techno, but also of lyrics. And it's like, Jesus Christ, like, none of this works. It's really fucking bad, and it's jarring. It's like, oh, like when it first hits you, when the logo comes up, which they do in reverse. Like the logo's backwards, and then it switches over and be like a super loud noise, and they have this techno music. It's like, all right, stop it. You with lyrics, it's like, I don't need to hear this. They always do that in the movie. It's like, yeah, I'm glad they changed it later on in the film series. Well, more of an orchestra, but it's all techno. But we have Letty. She's up in there chatting. She throughout the entire movie, Michelle Rodriguez, they always have her in leather pants, but it's again, it's Los Angeles during the summer, so she must have just been sweating constantly on those thick thighs, and that big booty butt. She's like, Jesus Christ, you just peeled those off. She's like, oh my God, a goddamn tidal wave would just come down. It's like, take it easy. But she's wearing leather pants in LA heat. Sure, okay. And then you also have the character. I don't know. So there's two other characters, chat. One's name is Vince, and he has always had an unrequited love for me at chat, but he's never returned because fucking Vince is an asshole. He's an idiot. And the other one's name is Johnny. Is Johnny? Oh yeah, and there's the third one, Jesse, chat. And Jesse's kind of like the nerd of the crew. You know, he's a mathematician and he understands engine shit. He's got the ADD, as he says. He doesn't understand the reading in the history books. He doesn't get it, chat, but he understands an engine. He relaxes him, and they're all fucking rolling up there. But Vince, he fucking sees Brian eating his fucking tuna fish sandwich and drinking his milk box. And the other three, they're just doing their thing. They're just goofing around, having a fun time and shit. But Vince has a problem. He's like, hey man, what the fuck you doing here? He's like, I'm just eating tuna fish sandwich. He's like, yeah, well, maybe you should fucking leave. Why don't you go down to the fucking Big Burger, Fat Boy, and get yourself a double-decker, a large fry, and a fucking chocolate shake, and fuck off. And he's like, hey, bro, you can't say it to me. I can go where I want. And he's like, oh, yeah, you want to throw down, bro? You want to throw down? Throw down. They're like doing like this, and I'm like, I don't know what this means. And they attack each other. They attack. And it's like, oh, shit. But fucking Vin Diesel, fucking Dominic Toretto, Dom, stop him, Dom. And I love that Michelle Rodriguez Letty's just becoming Igor over time. She has the same voice. Did you actually get the 5 days? Vince was the main bad guy for Torque. What? I didn't know that. Oh, I never seen Torque. That makes sense, though. Makes sense. Was it the same character? I could buy that. But fucking Vinny's like, whoa. And he separates Brian and Vince. He's like, Vince, you gotta respect family. He's like, whatever, man. And he's like, you, Brian, whatever your name is. Because he's like, he grabs his wallet. Grabs the wall and looks at it. He's got like an Arizona driver's license. Apparently, he just moved in here like a couple months ago. He's working at this fucking, I don't know, Old Joe's auto parts or something. Oh, but they're thinking 10 minutes. It's better than a Joe Rogan breakdown fight. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. But he looks at it and goes, you get out of here. You get out of here. Brian's like, come on, man. I love eating here. I love the tuna fish. And he's like, you just got fired. And he's like, wait, what? He just got really confused. And then Vince and the crew, they walk back into the combination restaurants / convenience store that they own, Toretto's place. And fucking Brian, he goes back to work at this auto shop, and he pulls in, and his boss, good old Joe, Brian Earl Spliner. I think his name is Brian Earl Spillner. And fucking Dom goes, are you a fucking serial killer or something with that name? Which is a good name, which is a good line. I like that line a lot. He goes, nah, dog. No, I'm not. I'm just trying to make my way, one paycheck at a time. I don't believe you. Get going. And so Brian Earl Splinter, professional drag racer / serial killer, he goes back to work. And his boss, I don't know the boss's name. I'm going to call him Old Joe. Old Joe's like, Dom, listen, Dom, I'm sorry. I know, listen, you come through for me a lot. I come through for you, but come on, man. The kid's good at what he does. He's good at what he does. Brian walks in, and fucking Old Joe hands the phone. He's like, Brian, what are you doing fucking with the Torettos? He says, I wasn't fucking with nobody, man. I was just over there eating my tuna fish. He's like, you could literally buy that anywhere, okay? You can go to a middle school and buy that without the crust. He's, yeah, without the crust. But I like the way Mia cuts the crust. He's like, Jesus Christ, what are you doing? And he's like, so am I fired or something? The guy said I'm fired. He's like, you're not fired. I told him what I always tell you. It's like, I need the best of the best of the best. And you're the best, Brian. You're great what you do here. But Jesus Christ, keep your fucking head down. These Torettos, they could be dangerous, man. I mean, they're a family. And fucking Brian's like, ah, shit, okay. Well, I'm going to go drag race now. And so it's later that evening, chat, and everyone's going to go and have a fun time drag racing, techno music, all that shit. And we go to this abandoned factory yard somewhere in LA, which I do not believe. There's like no police presence at all. And they all pull up, all these people in these fancy fucking cars, chat. We get this one guy. And again, I don't know what most of these fucking people's names are. Thank you. I think one of the names is Edwin and Danny. Edwin and Danny. Hector is here. Hector, chat. Hector is in this movie. The actor's name is actually not Hector. This is the actor who always plays Hector's, chat. Like, let me look up what his name is. He's, because he's funny enough, what's his name? David Ayer. He has a co-writing credit on this. He also co-wrote the screenplay. And I imagine he brought over that actor. He's like, hey, I need you, Hector. Hector, who always plays Hectors. Hector, who who plays Hector. His actual name is Noel Giuliani. His name is actually Noel Giuliani, chat. He's an American actor, best known for his portrayal of South California gangsters named Hector. That's really what it is. He's in The Dark Knight Rises, prisoner that gets his wrist broken by Catwoman. Oh, fuck, I didn't see that. I know that was him. He was Hector in that. And he's Italian. He's not even Mexican. He's not Hispanic or Spanish in any capacity. Oh, he's not Latino. It's crazy. But he's organizing these drag racing street races, and we get a bunch of other characters there. Brian's there with his green race car. I think we also get two other people. One guy's name is Edwin and Danny. Edwin, who was driving this one car, and Danny, he's like always about the video games and shit. It's like, if I play the games, I know how to be a good racer. It's like, okay, sure you do. And the fucking, Dom and his crew, they show up too. And Brian's just kind of like, oh, fucking shit, I don't even know what the hell's going on here most of the time. He's just kind of like, he just looks like just a deer in the headlights, just looking around. Everyone's like intimidating, he's so intimidating and shit. But, Brian, everyone's placing their bets and stuff. Like, Dom, he places his bets. Edwin and Danny, they're placing their bets at this point. All throw it in there. And fucking, Dom sees him. He's like, hey, I thought I told you to not show up here. He's like, hey, man, you told me not to show up at your fucking, restaurant / convenience store. If last time I checked, this isn't your restaurant convenience store. And Dom's like, that's true. You got me there. You got me there, Brian. Also, Mia's there, and she's like, oh, that's so fucking hot. Just looking at him, just like, Just always staring at him and shit. It's like, take it easy. But he's like, what have you come here to bet? I'm here to bet my fucking pink slip from my cars. So, Chad, if he loses this race, he'll lose his fucking race car. And they're like, oh, shit. And they're like, all right, well, everyone get... Oh, by the way, Brian also bought a shit ton of NOS. NOS, chat, which makes your car go vroom, vroom. That's what it does, vroom, vroom fast. And so his boss warned him, old Joe said, listen, man, don't be buying this NOS now and putting it in your car. It'll destroy your car. It'll start falling apart randomly. And Brian's like, nah, man, I got to get that NOS. And he's like, okay. And so he puts the NOS in his car, and he's at the race. And so we see, like, how each racer kind of prepares. Like, Dom, he gives a little smooch to Letty. She's like, go win the race, Dom. She's like, I will, Letty, I will. And she goes off. She's hanging out with fucking Vince. And Vince is like, fucking Brian. Hey, Brian. Johnny's there. And Johnny's like, I'm kind of just in the background for most of the movie. I don't really do anything. And you also have Mia. She's like, I'm gonna fuck him so much. And it's like, we get it, Letty. We understand, Mia. We understand. Do you understand the liabilities? It sort of took a few days to make the pink slip transfer league. That's true. And Ja Rule rules for the other titty from Monica. That's true. That's true. Yeah, Ja Rule plays, I think, the character of Edwin, I want to say. I think it's Edwin. But if you see each racer how they prepare, Dom, he gets a little kiss from Letty. We see the character of Danny, who is the Asian racer there. He's literally playing fucking like Need for Speed on the PS1 chat, video game. He crashes, foreshadowing. And we also see the, I think either the Danny character, either the Danny or Edwin, I forget which one's which. But we see the Ja Rule character, and he's there. And, he's about to fucking start racing. But then this woman comes up and she's like, hey. And he's like, what? She's like, look at these. And she grabs his hands and puts them over her bazungas. And he's like, Gran Turismo, excuse me. Gran Turismo, my apologies, chat. But she's like putting his hands on her tatas, on her bazungas, chat. And she's like, win or lose, these are yours. And that woman over there, he goes, yeah, she's yours too. He's like, oh yeah. He's very excited about it, chat. He can't wait. And so we also see Brian. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And he's just fucking nervous as all hell, chat. He's very, very scared. What did I walk back in on? Daryl McCoy, this is the Fast and Furious, okay? And Ja Rule, he is rubbing up on them tatas right now, okay? And so everyone's like, all right, guys, let's finish. And so this woman with big booty butt, she comes out. She goes, all right, racers, start. Everyone goes, boom. Everyone goes real fucking fast. And, like, you have the one guy, you have the one Asian racer, and he goes, ah! And he fucking crashes automatically, Chad. It's like it was foretold in the video game. He explodes, and Ja Rule's like, I want the tatas, but he's not concentrating on that. He's not seeing what Brian's doing. And Brian, he activates that NOS, and he's keeping up with Vin Diesel, chat, with Dominic Toretto. But Dominic Toretto sees that Brian is about to pass. He's like, oh, hell no, dog. You ain't doing that. And he activates his own NOS. And he goes even faster. And so it's like a battle between the NOS cars, chat. Between Dom and Brian. But then Brian's car, by the way, Brian has all these computers and laptops in his car. I have no idea what they do, but I guess they monitor his progress. But he also going, wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. It's like, oh no, thank you, DT goes to the 5 minutes. No, Monica. That's what he does say. Ja Rule's very upset. No! He needs the tatas. Because he's barely in the race anymore. He's all the way back. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Dobby's, thank you for the 10. Dobby said, Chris, you did a fantastic job on the Sunday service. I think Corey could learn things from you with your acknowledgement of Chandler's. Oh, thank you. No. Well, I really appreciate it. Dobby's free. Yeah, listen, guys. In case because I know the chat goes by so much faster in the double toasted chat. In case I did not acknowledge you if you donated, seriously, thank you so much for your support. My apologies if I missed you. I know we get to those hype trains. It's very hard. It's very hard to, like, because I got to control the slides. I got to go back and forth. I got to maintain a conversation with Martin. I had to stay engaged and know what I'm talking about. So in case I missed you in your generosity, seriously, thank you so much for that. That's, like, it was great. I really enjoyed doing it. But thank you, W's Free. I hope you're doing very well. Cheers and salute to you, my friend. But we get a nice battle between Vin Diesel and Brian Shed and vroom vroom. But oh no, wee woo, beep bop beep boop. The computers are saying, Brian, your car's gonna fall apart for some reason. And Brian's car starts falling apart, Shed. The NOS is too much for it. And it's like, oh no! And it kind of like stops moving for a little while. And like it just kind of like, I don't know, it over exhausted the engine and shit. And Vin Diesel and the other races, Ja Rule and the other guy, the PS1 player, they all roll in there and stuff. And everyone's like, woo, Dom, you won. They all start giving his money. And fucking Brian, he rolls up in his car. It's a little slower now, though, because that NOS kind of damaged it. And fucking Vin Diesel's like, hey, man, I need your pink slip. And he goes, oh, you got it, man. You got it. But I almost had you. And Vin Diesel's like, what? Say what? I almost had you, man. I almost had you, dog. He's like, and Vin Diesel, Dom starts to be a little charmed by him. He's like, this guy. And he's like, oh, with this fucking car? And then he starts like saying car stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what he's fucking talking about. Well, if these fucking, rims, am I right? And they're like, oh! And I'm like, I don't know what we're saying. Firewolf, welcome to stream. And thank you for the 30 biddies. Hey, Juicy Baby. Hi, Chad. Good to see you, Firewolf. Thank you, No Name Moment. Level of multi seems to be a lot to handle. Also, your female voice makes me chuckle. I'm glad you like it. Thank you, No Name Moment. No, it is. It's just when you don't do it consistently, then it's like, oh shit, you got to kind of get back into it. And so it takes a while. But thank you for your support, chat, seriously, and your understanding. I'm very thankful for that. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Everyone's like going, oh shit, when, Vin Diesel's like making fun of Brian's car and what he has in it and everything. It's like, I don't know. They didn't understand what the fuck Vin Diesel was talking about. They're like, oh yeah, fucking engines, right? No one cares. DD Young said the base. It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. That's true. That's what fucking Vin Diesel says. If it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile, winning's winning. Or as I like to say, chat, if you're not first, you're last, Ricky Bobby. It's the same fucking logic, which is true. If you're not first, you're last. That's how it is, chat. Winning is fucking winning no matter what. So, the Johnny or whoever the fuck it is, he's been monitoring the police scanners and like, oh shit, the fuzz, the popo's coming, everyone fucking get out of here. And they're like, oh fucking shit. And everyone gets in their fucking cars, everyone's piling in. And the entire Los Angeles police force, chat, just found out about this race as it ended. Convenient. And they all, oh, that's the other thing too. Because Ja Rule, he pulls up before this, and the woman comes by, Monica, and he's like, hey, come here, girl, let me see those tatas. She's like, no, fuck, and she says, fuck you, vampire. You're a loser. And she walks away, and he's like, oh. It's like, no. Which I fucking love that. And I'm like, wow. Also, they do say a lot of homophobic slurs in this movie, and I forgot about that. I was like, ooh, because even Vince, he calls at one point, and then I'm saying this for the sake of the film, chat, what they use to describe Brian, he called him a fag, and I'm like, that's not nice, Vince. And already establishing Vince as a not a cool guy, chat, in my book. He's not a cool guy. But yeah, they also use some of the N-words in this film. And I'm like, well, that's not nice. She doesn't look black. I don't believe she was a black woman, chat. And she's using that verbiage offensive. But popos start coming, wee, woo, wee, woo. It's the 2000s. I know exactly. You just gotta, it's like, listen, it's a time capsule. People spoke this way back in that decade. Is it okay now? Of course not, but it was of the time. That's just how it was, But Popo coming, and everyone gets in their fucking cars. Everyone's, going off in different directions. Some of the Popos after Vin Diesel, but he turned into a parking garage, chat, and he parks a super cool drag race car up there. And he's like, well, shit, I can't go on the street rocking these guns. And so for the first time, I think, ever, I see Vin Diesel put on like a leather jacket, and I'm like, that's a cardinal sin. And he's like walking around like, ugh. And you can tell he just hates it because he's got to show off the guns, chat. But the police spot him like, Toretto, you're under arrest for shit. And he's like, oh no. And he just throws off the coat and he just takes off running, chat. Ooh, like that Tom Cruise chopping air run. And he goes down the alleyway. He's like, he's got nowhere to go. Like, fucking Letty's not there. Goddamn Vince, that fucking wallflower Johnny. Not even me. It's like, oh, shit. I mean, what's he going to do? And then all of a sudden, this green race car shows up. It's Brian. He's like, get in if you want to live. And he's like, Terminator, bro, cool. By the way, Vin Diesel would make a cool Terminator. I'm just pointing out there. And he jumps in the car, and fucking Brian and Vin Diesel and bro, they race away from the cops, chat. It's like, hell yeah. And they get away from the fuzz. And it's like, whoa. And fucking Dom is like, whoa, man, thanks for having my back there. And, fucking Brian's like, hey, man, I mean, hope I can keep my car. And fucking Dom's like, no. But you have the one thing, because that's the thing. Fucking Brian, he said, the one thing I want, it's not even the money, It's not even another car. Like before he made the bet, he said, the one thing I want is the respect. But the thing that Vin Diesel offers is like, hey, man, I can't give you your money back. Can't give you your car back, man. You got my respect. It's like, whoa, that is worth more than fucking gold. Then Dominic Toretto's respect, chat. You could Jesus Christ, the stock price on that thing. It's over $1,000 fucking bucks per share, chat. That is worth more than anything in the world. And he fucking Brian earned that. Wow, not bad. Basically, the guy told you I'm gonna get you fired. Pretty good, chat. Pretty good. Dark 65 is that leather jacket limit his Toretto powers. Exactly. That's why he was spotted by the cops so easily, chat. Can't hide those fucking guns. If he was showing off them guns, then the cops were like, just move along, just move along. They wouldn't have done it. New car cryptocurrency, exactly. That'd be more valuable than fucking Bitcoin, chat, than the Dogecoin, which isn't that worth that much anyway. But Chad, after this, they're fucking, just like, yeah, I respect you, Brian, bro. I respect you too, Dom, bro. But oh no, Chad, the Triad show up, and these guys are riding these crotch rockets, Chad, because they put a lot of torque on the crotches, and they're like, whoa, Brian's like, whoa, what's happening? It's like, it's the fucking Triad, chat. It's one of these guys' names, the leader of it. It's Johnny Tran and the Triad. And so like, this is go where they're, because some of the Triads pulls out like these Uzis on them, and it's like, just go where they want you to go. And so they pull up to a fucking Chinese buffet, which I'm like, I think that's offensive. It's just like a whole Chinese market. It's Chinese buffet / auto part store. It's like, that's a weird combination. But they also, Ricky Yoon, the character, but is it Ricky Yoon? Oh yeah. Ricky Yoon, but the actor is the actor is Ricky Yoon, but the character is Johnny Tran. And so they all pull up to the combination Chinese buffet / auto parts store, and they all get out, and fucking Johnny Tran's like, what the hell you doing here, Dom? This is our territory. It's like, hey, man, listen, just with my bro here. We just got finished with a drag race. And Ricky was like, or Johnny's like, well, that's not going to be my car. It's like, nah, man, this is my car. I want it fair and square, okay? It's like, don't look like the deal's been signed yet, man. I saw this guy still driving. He's like, he's going to drop it off in my shop, man, okay? Leave him alone. And it's like, this is your one warning, Toretto. This is your one fucking warning. And he just drives off on his crotch rock. He's like, hey, man, next fucking race, okay? Race wars, dog. We're going to do race wars. And he's like, you're going to need more than that crotch rocket, Johnny. He's like, oh, don't worry. I got a lot more. And he drives away. What do you think about this? There was even an interview recently with Justin Lin where he talked about seeing the first movie and kind of rolling his eyes whenever the Asian characters appear near Chinese restaurants or monks. He had like always, Chad. Anytime there's a Chinese character on screen, like they even have it's not exactly the dun 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 dun, but it's damn near close to it when they show up. There's like a random gone sound. It's like really every time they walk in a scene, Toretto dun 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 dun. It's like they do use a gone. I'm like, oh no. oh no. I think this character is supposed to be like a reference to like, yeah, Johnny Utah, and Johnny Tran. Well, wink and a nod, if you will. And so they're like, you better fucking bring your best, Toretto, because we're going to have a hell of a cool crotch rocket. You're going to need more of the crotch rocket. I will. And they drive away. And Dom's like, oh, don't worry about it, Brian. Johnny Tran's an asshole. And then they hear the bikes come back, and Johnny Tran rolls up with another guy, and they start shooting the car. They're like, whoa! And they just start shooting up, and Johnny's like, fuck you! And he fucking drives away. What a fucking dick move! But then the car starts sparking and like sputtering. It's like, and Dom's like, the NAS! And they're like, ooh, ooh, and they run away as big explosion, chat, and it's all blue flames and everything. It's like, holy shit, that was serious business. That's not good. And at this point, Dom's like, oh, Brian, well, you still owe me a car. You owe me a 10-cent car. And it's like, I have the time to get one. He's like, don't worry, I know you're good for it because you have my respect. You want to walk back to my house for a beer? And fucking Brian's like, hell yeah, I do. And so they walk back home, like 20 fucking miles. They walk back home in the span of 5 minutes, which you could probably get back home faster walking 20 miles than driving 20 miles in downtown LA, I believe. And so they get to the famous Toretto household, chat, the stronghold, the family abode. And we see Mia, chat, because she's, she's like in college. I think she's in college, I want to say. Because she's not in high school, correct? I don't believe she's in high school. I think she's like in college right now. But she's wearing her, her overall, not overalls, but her work shirt and stuff, you know, when she's working on the cars and stuff, and she sees fucking Dom walking up with Brian. She's like, oh, Jesus Christ, he's here. And she, like, undoes her hair and stuff, and she's like, oh, God, go, it's not working. And she takes, like, the shirt off, and she's naked, chat, she's naked. And she puts on, like, really tight pants that show off the booty, and the tight shirt shows off the bosoms. And she's like, I'm ready now. And she's like, he's gonna put a baby in me someday. And so she goes in the stairs. And Dom walks in with Brian and stuff, and Dom, he's very upset. He's very upset because he sees Letty. She's playing the video games, and he sees Johnny just there kissing this girl and drinking a beer. He just goes, Johnny, what the fuck? Where were you, man? And, you know, Johnny's like, I was back here, man. I mean, we always said to meet back here. He's like, you know I needed you, Johnny. He's like, I'm sorry. Like, we're family. He's like, I know we're family. And then Letty's like, I feel bad too, Dom. He's like, it's okay. Let's smooch. And then he sees fucking Vince just staring at Brian like, why the fuck is he doing? What the fuck is he doing here right now, man? And it's like, he has more reason to be here than you do, Vince. I needed you. You know we're family. And it's like, well, you always sent me back at the house. We thought you had it. You know that fucking fuzz is over me, man. You know they're looking for me. And it's like, well, I would have been there. It wasn't for him. It doesn't even make any sense, Vince. If it's just like, I fucking hate you. And everyone comes, then Mia comes down. She's like, boys. Let's take it easy. And because Brian's like, whoa, she's hot. And Vince is like, you're really pretty, Mia. He's like, I don't care about you, Vince. But then Dom is like, you know what? You need Vince. How about you cool the fuck off, John? You keep doing nothing. That's what you do for most of the movie. And he's like, hey, Brian, you want a beer? And he's like, hell yeah, I want a beer. And he's like, Vince, grab me those 2 beers. And Vince is like, and he opens the 2 beers and he hands them to Vin Diesel. And he's like, listen, you can have any beer you want as long as it's Corona. It's like, it's where it comes from. You can have any beer you want as long as it's Corona. Goddamn right, DT Dykes. And Brian's like, okay. And he fucking like rubs the top of the bottle to clean it because he had Vince's sweaty, disgusting, greasy hands on. Vince is like, fuck you, man. And, you know, at this point, Letty comes over. She's like, I'm going to have sex with you now, Dom, because I feel really bad. He's like, hell yeah, Letty. And they go upstairs. Mia comes down. She's like, Brian, do you want to talk? And he's like, yeah. And so they go into the next room and they start talking. But Brian's not a drinker. And he grabs himself a Snapple. And Mia grabs, she's like, I don't like beer either. I like Snapple. I like Peach Snapple. He's like, oh my God, I love Peach Snapple too. Oh my God, we're Snapple buddies. And they're having a great time drinking their Snapple. And, you know, they're talking to each other, having a good time. And she's like, you know, I can really tell that Dom likes you and stuff, and I like you too. She goes, really? She goes, yeah, but you smell really fucking bad. Like really bad. You need a new car, and you definitely need a shower. He's like, okay. And so apparently that happens, chap. And then it's the next day, and he's driving his fucking red pickup truck to work, chap. But oh no, the fuzz, the popo. And I'm like, get out of the car, Brian, or whatever. And he's like, oh shit, put your hands behind your head. He's like, oh shit. And then who walks out of the goddamn car, chap? Buffalo Bill. He's like, can you help me move this couch? Ted Levine, chap. Buffalo Bill, Ted Levine. And he's like, Ted Levine's like, you're under arrest, O'Connor. It's like, O'Connor, that's not his name. His name was Splitter, chap. But they arrest him, and they take him, not to the police station, but to this very nice kind of compound area where it's got a fucking in-ground pool and stuff. And Brian's just talking like to Ted Levine like it's nothing. Like they know each other. It's like, wait a minute, has Brian's like been, you know, has he been arrested by this guy before? Is he informant? Nah, chat. Because when he goes inside, who does he say hello to first, chat? The angry black police chief. Okay? That's what it's like. Oh, shit. Brian's a goddamn narc, chat. He's an undercover cop. I can't fucking believe it. You smell like shit. Take a shower. It's pretty much what she says. Which, I mean, I imagine so. He's been fucking sweating. He's got the fear sweats, chat. He's just the major BO, major stank. No doubt about it. And it's like, oh my God. And you realize that fucking Brian Earl Splinter, chat, is not a drag racer / serial killer. He's a fucking LAPD. He's an LA police officer, chat. Lower than scum. And it's like, oh my God, Brian, I liked you. And now it's like, you're trying to betray the family? And he's working, like, listen, we need you to investigate this drag racing thing, okay? Because one of these major groups, it's either the Torettos, it's either the Johnny Trans or something, the Triads. One of these guys, one of these groups is stealing all of these, literally, chat, this whole sting operation is about trying to figure out who is stealing these Panasonic combination DVD VHS players That's the plot of the movie. It's fucking ridiculous. It's like, okay. And NWA just starts playing, fuck the police. The only one 20 minutes sad bro sounds, bro. That's what it would sound like. Those are sad bro sounds. Thank you for knowing for the 20 minutes. And thank you, Luke Boss, for 1 minute. Some Donnie Brasco, exactly. Donnie Brasco shit. Just like that movie. Donnie Brasco. Donnie Brasco. That's it. Thank you, Luke Boss. Woo. It's like, listen, man. You guys stay undercover. You guys still, ingratiate yourself to Dom and the crew. You gotta do your best. And fucking Brian's like, that's no problem, man. I can definitely do that. It's no fucking issue. And for the most of the movie, Brian, he's just trying to ingratiate himself with the family, and he rolls up because he's like, before he leaves the police compound, he says, I'm gonna need a new car, by the way. And like, we got you. And then we cut, and we're at like Vin Diesel's garage shed, the Toretto garage, and we see this fucking sports car. It's being towed, and it's completely just fucking destroyed. It's like, what the fuck? And fucking Brian's like, hey guys, I got you a car. And they're like, fuck, I could walk fast in this goddamn thing. I can waddle, I can crawl fast in this. He's like, no, man. It's not what's on the outside, it's what's on the inside. And fucking Dom's like, I respect that. And they pop the fucking hood of it, chat, and apparently it has like a super duper engine in it. And fucking Dom's like, whoa, bro. He's like, I think this should pay off. He's like, in spades, man. It's like, hey, dude, like, I really like you. I know that you fucking, been eyeing my sister and stuff. Like, listen, you do anything to her, I'll fucking kill you. He's like, okay. All right. He's like, don't betray her because I'll rip your fucking heart out. It's like, okay, shit. And he's like, listen, man, thanks for this gift. It's very nice. It's totally clear up your debt. This is your pink slip. Why don't you stop by the house, man? We're going to have a barbecue. We're going to have a fucking, family get-together. And Brian's like, sure, man, absolutely. And so Brian, he goes to fucking family barbecue, see fucking Dom. He's, making some barbecue chicken. Really good looking barbecue chicken. This lather in barbecue sauce. It's like, oh, good. Got all the fucking corn on the cob, Chad, and the grilled corn on the cob looking good. Got the potato salad, Chad, with the cayenne pepper. It's like, that looks good. The paprika's on there. Very good, Chad. And he got all sorts of wonderful other spread over there, Chad. That looks wonderful. And, fucking Brian and Mia, they're flirting back and forth. This is wonderful, Chad. And then you have the rest of the fucking crew come on over. You have Letty. You got Letty. You got Johnny. You got Vince. But Vince rolls up and he's like, nah, forget this, man. I don't want to be anywhere near with him. And Dom's like, Vince, get your ass over here, okay? You got to make up with Brian. He's a part of the family. He's like, he's not my family. And he fucking leaves. he just peels out in the car. And they all sit down. And me and Letty are telling him, like, listen, don't worry about Vince. He's always been this way. He never fucking grew up, man. He's never fucking grown up. That's always been his fucking problem. It's like, oh, shit, okay. He's like, he's known Dom since middle school. And, Dom's basically been his big brother. Like in third grade. And that's the way he is. He's very protective and stuff, and this has made him very pig-headed, okay? And he's had the hots for Mia for years. And she's like, Letty, shut the fuck up, okay? Jesus Christ. And Brian's like, all right, I'm going to keep drinking Corona. Everyone's having a great time. And then we see Jesse, Chad. He's a little nerd. That's a good scene. There's a scene earlier in the film. I think it happens here, where Jesse's talking about taking apart the car that Brian dropped off. And I love it, Chad, because this scene starts off with the fucking kid putting in a floppy disk. I'm like, oh my God, this movie's so old. He puts in a floppy disk into the computer, chat. And apparently it's like reading all the information. Like, we're going to take this part over here, we're going to put it over here. It's like, is this MS Paint? What is this? I've never seen this program before. Fingers in the 5 days. Even if I hated the guy, I stay for the food. Exactly. That was some good looking fucking barbecue chicken, chat. Hell yeah. Grilled barbecue chicken? Fuck yeah, I'll stay there. At least for a little while, and then good Corona. Goddamn right. But we see Jesse, and fucking Brian's like, whoa, man, you could just go to MIT. You should be in MIT. He's like, nah, man, see, I was never good at school. I mean, I love math. I knew math easily. I like working on engines, but I had that thing, that HDA. He's like, you mean ADD? Yeah, man, I got that ADD. Attention deficit disorder, the hyper one, though. And, I failed all my other classes. I failed English and the social studies and the other ones. And I just never could do it, man. But I loved the math and the engines, and it was just my passion. That's when Dom found me, and I became a part of the family. And Brian, over time, he's learning, all these guys look up to Dom as a father figure or as a brother. And he's like, oh, shit, there really is a family. The only person we don't get a sense of is, okay, we learned about Vince. We learned about, Letty, of course. Well, we learned about Letty in a second. And we learned about Jesse. The only one character we don't learn anything about is Johnny. Like, he's not in these movies for very long, so I think he gets killed off in one of them. He's killed off or he just doesn't come back, I think. But it's just weird to me that, like, we learn absolutely nothing about Johnny in this film. He's barely in the film. It's like, oh, yeah, I guess this guy's still here. But, like, Vince and Letty and Jesse, they all get things to do in the movie, except Johnny. And Johnny's the only one who doesn't come back and later. Yeah, it's like, because he doesn't do anything. He literally doesn't do anything. Anyway. We also learn about, because after that, they're having the barbecue and things, enjoying each other's time. And Jesse, like, he reaches in for, like, the first piece of barbecue chicken. And Dom's like, hey, Jesse, since you reached in first for the chicken, you got to go ahead and do the prayer, man. You got to say grace. And Brian's like, oh, my God, they practice religion here? Who would have thought? It's like he thinks they're like a group of fucking savages. And they all, like, hold hands. And Jesse's like, I want to thank the holy, and fucking, Johnny's like, spirit. He's like, spirit, and for all the pistons and the cars and the barbecue chicken and the corn on the cob. And they're like, all right, Jesse, you did good. He's like, yeah, amen. And they all start munching on the barbecue. Like, oh, good barbecue chicken. Eventually, Vince, he comes around because he smells that fucking chicken. He's like, guys got to eat, right? And they're like, get your fucking ass over here, Vince. And he sits down right across from Brian. Brian is sipping his Corona, and Vince is just, I want chicken. I just starts eating and shit. Eventually, it's later that evening, and like apparently all the women are like, you now do the dishes, or at least Mia is, because Letty and the other guys are all watching like a horror movie or something. They were watching Halloween or something. Just a nice night in, chat. And Brian's like, hey, do you need any help with the dishes? And Mia's like, no, I got it. And she's like, listen, I just want to say, like, Dom, he really does like you. I mean, you came in there for him, and you saved him. He's telling me he really appreciates it. He won't say it himself right now. Someday he will, but he's just trying to fill you out. He just wants to know what you're all about. And Brian's like, what do you mean? She's like, well, you're new. Never really seen you before, so he's always been a little cautious. He goes, well, I mean, I understand that. I mean, I think we kind of like each other. She's like, what do you mean we kind of like each other? He's like, well, we like each other, like. It's like, you want to go on a date, and then Vince comes in, he's like, hey, Mia, you want to go on a date with me? Like, there was this one place I think we went to one time, this restaurant. Oh, it's great. They have, like, the best fucking fish tacos you ever had, these wonderful goddamn sangrias, and, oh, you would just love it. She goes, that sounds great, Vince. Hey, Brian, you want to go to this place? He's like, Vince is like, no! And he, like, punches the wall, and he walks away. It's hilarious. Thank you, Darkseid, for the 5 days. I kind of wish Jesse wasn't dead. His backstory fascinated me. Not a book smart, but you could tell he was. He was street smart. They're watching Dragon the Bruce. That's a Dragon the Bruce Soul Circuit by Rob Cohen. Makes sense. You want to be bro, and law, bro? Pretty much. But Vince is very upset that Mia does not love him because he obviously fucking loves Mia. That is so obvious. It's right up there in front and center, chat. But Mia and, who the hell is it? Mia and Brian, they go on a nice little date, chat. They go on a little date. And they're enjoying each other, the place that Vince told them about, and they start bonding. And Mia starts explaining, like, Letty's backstory and how Letty, she'd always hang out with the boys and stuff, and she'd always be interested in, in Dom, of course. But then, but Dom was always interested in cars. Eventually, when Letty was 16, and she went through certain changes, then Dom couldn't keep his eyes off Letty. He was obsessed with Letty. And Brian's like, oh, it's funny. She goes, yeah. No, I mean, they've been together forever. They love each other a lot. And Brian's like hearing all this. He's like, whoa, these people like really care for each other. They have a sense of a family. And eventually, Brian is like, hey, you want to go back to my place and fuck? And she's like, hell yeah, I do. And so they go back. Apparently, he's living at the car parts store, like in the back room or something with a little cot. And he gets a good old ring-a-ding-ding. Apparently, Ted Levine says, hey, man. Hey, oh, it's another scene early in the movie. I forgot. So before this scene, Chad, before the date, I think, happens, this is what happens. So Brian goes to investigate to see if Hector or Johnny Tran has these cars that are being used to stage all these robberies of the Panasonic TVs. And so he breaks into Hector's garage and he's looking around and shit, but he's spotted by fucking Vince. Vince goes, bam, he punches him in the face and he hits him with the back of a shotgun, the butt of a gun. And they drag him out. And he got the fucking shotgun pointed at him. And fucking Vin Diesel appears in the darkness like a fucking Batman. It's like, holy shit. And he's like, Brian, I invited you over for barbecue, and I see you breaking in here. You're a part of the family. What do you do? And he goes, man, listen, I know I owe you a fucking, like, a true working 10-cent car for all these races, man. Listen, I'm just wanting to make sure that what these guys fucking had, the competition, right? I mean, they might be working for something illegal, man. This is this fucking race wars you keep telling me about. I want to make sure we have the right shit. And Vin Diesel's, and fucking Vince is like, this guy's a fucking liar. He's a cop. He is obviously a cop. And Dom's like, nah, man, he's not a cop. He's family. He's family. The snap will stay in bed during sex. Also, Johnny dies in this movie. He does die? Johnny dies in this movie? Does he? I don't think so. Jesse dies in the movie. Jesse, we'll get to the fucking, no, he's just not in it. He's just, I don't think he's just in any of those films. No, he just gets away. He gets away. Jesse definitely dies, though. Jesse definitely dies. Thank you for the 5 minutes, though. But he's like, all right, well, let's go fucking investigate and see what, Johnny Tran has. And so they go and investigate Johnny Tran. They break into his Chinese buffet combination car parts store. And they're looking around, and the cars are pretty much what he's always had. But, oh, no, the fucking garage doors are opening up. Uh-oh, that's not good. And Johnny Tran, his boys, they have, I guess, this guy who is helping them with race wars. He's looking for, like, car parts and stuff that they're going to use to make super-duper cars. And he, like, basically tortures this very large white man. And Johnny's like, where's my fucking parts, Phil? And Phil's like, I don't have them, Johnny. He's like, yes, you do. What's missing in this car? Look, he's like, the parts you need? He's like, yeah, where are the parts? He's like, I don't have them. He's like, well, you give him some fucking supper. And they fucking throw him on the ground, chat, and they take this gasoline nozzle and just start pumping him full of oil. He's like, whoa, and he starts swelling with oil, chat, until he explodes. It's like, oh my God, he died. He's okay, he just vomits all of it up. He's like, I'll get you the parts. I'll get you the parts. He's like, God damn, you will. And eventually, Vin Diesel and Vince and Brian, they leave, and they go, all right, well, we know what he has, and so we know he won't be using anything, like, shitty for the race or some shit. We're up near Chinese buffet, car parts store is the best thing about this. It's just so fucking weird. What a combination. What a combination. Thank you, 25 minutes. Eventually, though, we cut back to them on the date, and Brian takes, Dom is convinced that, Brian, you're a good guy, you're helping us out constantly, you're part of the family. It's like, yeah. Well, must admit, Chris, I have never seen this movie all the way through, but you make it sound interesting. Thank you. I'm glad. But then we're back at the date with Brian. Then after this scene, then he takes, because, Dom, this is where Dom says, hey, listen, you've done right by the family. I know you're interested in Mia. Show her a good time. Be good to her. Be a good man to her. Because if you're not, I will fucking kill you. And he's like, okay. And so don't mistreat her. Also, I think we get, there's another scene coming up in the movie. It's really cool. But after this, he takes Mia out on that date, chat. And they're all talking about, like, Letty and Dom and how they love each other and how the family's so great. And they're like, hey, you want to go back and fuck? And she goes, finally, yes. And so they go to his hovel, which he owns at the auto shop, old Johnny's auto shop or whatever, old Jimmy's auto shop. And he gets a ring-a-ding-ding from Ted Levine. And he calls, he's like, well, she's a big old fat person. He's like, no. And he's like, oh, sorry. Listen, we're going to fucking do a raid on Johnny Tran's assets. We're going to go after his fucking Chinese buffet / auto parts store and also his house. You want fucking in, we're going to hit him. We think he's the guy. They think Johnny Tran is the guy responsible for stealing all of the DVD / VHS combination Panasonic TVs. And they're like, fuck yeah, I want to be involved. And so then Mia wakes up and she's like, oh, Jesus. Who's that? He's like, wrong number. Obviously it wasn't a wrong number because you were having a conversation with that person. He's like, boop. On the nose, he's like, let's have more sex. He goes, yay. And they proceed to have more sex. Thank you. Dark Side of the 5 Days. At least Dom says, don't date my sister. Most other movies wouldn't have done that cliche. It's true. At least just like, no, just treat her right or I'll fucking kill you. Because seriously, the 10 days shit, we've been getting it wrong. Johnny's the name of the character. The character's name is Leon. Oh, it is. You know what? That just goes to show you how little that character means anything to this fucking film. It literally doesn't matter. He doesn't matter. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything in the movie, chat. Leon, whatever. He's not going to come back. You know who I'm talking about, chat. So, then it's the next day. And Brian's just been having a great fucking time. Oh, that's the thing. He participates in the raid of Ted Levine and the angry black police chief of attacking Johnny Tran's assets. So they go ahead in full SWAT gear. So Brian is they don't know who he is. He's completely covered, so he's in disguise. They go there and they raid the Chinese buffet / auto parts store. They take down all the triad members, the fucking, at gunpoint and shit. Eventually, they go to the home of Johnny Tranchad, who lives in the suburbs. Got a very nice house, very nice family, and they're all sitting down, having a nice fucking meal chat. Again, it's very stereotypically Chinese, which I guess makes sense because, they're Chinese, eating Chinese dinner. It makes sense. But they fucking busted. It's like, oh, yeah, the Kool-Aid. And they take Johnny. And the thing is, it's so funny. Like, right before Johnny Tran leaves, because his old father, who kind of waddles up to him. He's like, it's my son. And he's like, Father. And the father just looks at him and goes, and he just slaps him. He's like, you bring dishonor. You bring dishonor on your family. You bring dishonor on me. You bring dishonor on this cow. It's like, are you kidding me? He does the whole fucking Eddie Murphy thing from Mulan, chat, and it's amazing. Mushu. He basically becomes fucking Mushu. You bring dishonor upon us all, Johnny Tran. He's like, Daddy. He's like, you are no longer my son. It's like, no. And so eventually, he gets arrested. And Ted Levine and fucking Brian are like, yeah, we did it. Then we cut back to the compound, and the angry black police chief, you know what he is right now? He's angry, and he's very black, chat. And he says, fuck, it was a bust. And like, what are you talking about? We only got him on a couple of things, like some of the auto parts, apparently. The majority of them, were bought and paid for. And we have some other stuff on some parking tickets and on a few misdemeanors, but that's it. They're like, are you fucking serious? Yeah. Johnny Tran's not the guy. He's not the guy that we've been after. And they're like, listen, it wasn't Hector, because you looked at his shit. You said none of the parts that they used, or that you didn't see any of the Panasonic TVs there. You didn't see anything at Johnny Tran's place. And all of his parts that were used for vehicles, they're all paid for. It has to be Toretto. And Brian's like, it's not Toretto. He's my family. And it's like, Brian, it's like, if you weren't fucking, dick deep in Mia, and this one random cop is like, if you weren't dick deep in Mia, and Brian's like, don't you talk about her. They start fighting, and this is hilarious. Where the angry black police chief literally grabs the guy and pushes him. And he pushes him, and he falls over. He's like, ah. He's like, get out of here. I don't need no talk like that. Which is great. Mordecai the other reason, yeah, Leon runs away, probably died on his way to his home planet. That's what it was. Thank you, 3 minutes. Leon, Johnny, whatever. I'm going to call him Johnny from now on. That's his fucking name, chat. I don't give a shit. You know who I'm talking about. Johnny Leon. Actually, not a bad name, Johnny Leon. It has a nice ring to it. And it's like, it's obviously Toretto. Okay, you got to stop. Listen, you're either married to the Force or you're married to Miss Mia. All right? And I don't see a ring on it right now, man. Do your fucking job. And he's like, shit. Oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And so then he goes, because they're trying to convince him that, listen, Toretto's not a good guy, all right? He did 2 years for almost beating a man to death. And they show him the pictures. The guy is fucking brain damage, man. And he's like, oh, shit. And he goes there. And Dom is like, hey, Brian, we've been bros for a couple of weeks now. And you're good, man. Mia's been telling me about you, and you've been treating her right. And I respect that. And he's like, listen, I don't really show people a lot of this, but it's close to me, man. You want to see it? And he's like, are we going to fuck Vin Diesel? He goes, no, come in the garage. And so he goes in the garage, and he opens it up, and we see the fucking muscle car, which we've always seen in all the movies. She had the black muscle car, the super duper engine. And he's like, and Brian's like, whoa, man, this fucking thing's a beast. He's like, it is a beast. It was my dad's. And I never drove it. Man, I've never driven it, but I've repaired it, man, because, oh, shit. There's a reason why I've been banned from race wars, man. There's a reason why I did that 2-year stint in prison, and I'll never go back, Brian. I'll rather fucking die than go back to prison. Brian's like, oh, shit. He's like, what happened, man? He's like, well, my dad, he was driving this car you see here, right? He was going 140. And this other guy hit him, man, right there. It's crashed 140 miles per hour. The car just fucking blew up. And they say that my dad, he died before the fire started. And the screaming that I was hearing, it wasn't my dad screaming. It was my own. That's what the people tell me. And I found that guy that hit him, man. And I beat him. Got a wrench in my hand. I kept hitting him over the head till my arms were tired. But I realized, man, That was just the race. That's what you do. He didn't mean to hit my dad. They were so close to each other, it just happened. You go 140 miles, a simple little nudge can throw you off. My dad couldn't control it. He was going too fast. And that guy, he's working out of high school now, takes the bus every day. And I did that to him. I got to live with that shit, Brian. And ever since I got out of prison, I've always felt guilty about it. But the one thing I know is that every day is a free day. And I always try to live my life a quarter mile of the time, baby. Woo! It's like, yeah! I love time for initiation in the family. Unzips pants. No! But it's a great fucking scene. And Vin Diesel does a goddamn good job. You can see the regret. He's like, I hurt that man so bad. He's brain damaged. He's like, I gotta live with that the rest of my life. I really like that. Nod and wave, nod and wave. Yeah. Oh, Lord. And so, Brian hears all this. He's like, oh, fuck, I love you, bro. But he's like, Brian, you're a good man. Hey, let's go get shrimp tacos. He's like, yeah. And so, they start driving, Chad. They drive, and they go to this little taco shop, like right off the highway, Chad. They got the fucking Pacific Ocean right there, and they all sit there, and they're eating their fucking shrimp tacos. It's so good, Brian. He's like, I know, I love it. But Brian, he starts, like, looking, like, really sad. He's like, bro, what's wrong? He's like, listen, man, listen, I just got a lot on my mind right now. He's like, well, I know you got a lot more than your mind, like my sister. He's like, it's not that, man, it's not that. It's just, I'm just hurting right now monetarily. He's like, I don't always be good for you, man. Listen, don't worry about it. I know, you lost that car. It definitely hurts you. I know fucking Jimmy's not paying you. Listen, I can get you a raise there, man. You need some money. He's like, no, Vince, no, I don't. It's not what I'm talking about. Okay, I don't take handouts, all right? I fucking, I want to work for what I earn, all right? And he's like, I know what you've been into. He's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? He's like, the stuff that you've done, man, okay? I know, all right? People on the street talking. He's like, shh. Keep that quiet, Brian. Keep that quiet. And he's like, listen, you say I'm family. You say I'm like a brother. Let me help you with that, man. And he's like, here, take this card. He's like, what's this card for? He's like, Race Wars. If you fucking prove yourself at Race Wars, it will involve you. He's like, fuck yeah. Thank you. By the way, to Deadpool, so much for him. Is that 10 biddies for the, excuse me. Deadpool 10 biddies. Vinny and John Cena are brothers. If they ever introduce their father, I should pick someone else. Yes! Arnold Schwarzenegger would be fucking amazing. It would be amazing. That would be great. Definitely agree with you. Deadpool. And thank you, Mordecai, for the 5 biddies. The actor's real name is Johnny Strong. Apparently, he was in a movie. It was in a movie last year. Good for him. Well, good for him. Was he in F9? Was that the movie he was in? But I do love it. So after this, so then we go to fucking Race Wars chat, where it's the middle of it's like an airport, it's like an airport in the middle of the fucking desert, which I guess has been abandoned, but it's like legitimate. Like you can actually participate, like it's all organized and things. It's not like, oh, it's like some, mysterious thing where you have to go through initiation. No, it's just, it's an actually legal event, and they have permits and shit. And all these racers come there, like all of, Dom's family's there. Like one of the first races that's up is between Letty and this one guy who's just like, hey girl, well, after we're done racing, after I beat you, you come over here and sit on this dick, am I right? And she's like, I'm gonna fucking rip your dick off. He's like, whoa! And eventually they race and she kicks his ass, Chad. She goes, thanks, honey, thanks for your fucking money. He's like, no, he's all sad. Then we get like another race, and it's Jesse, the little nerdy Jesse, and he's like, "Hey, I'm betting everything I have. I'm betting my entire fucking life savings in my car. And I'm gonna make it big. It's gonna be great." And like, Jesse, you fucking crazy? He's like, "Don't worry, man. This guy I'm racing against, he has a Honda Civic." But they see who has this fucking Honda Civic, chat. He fucking rolls on up, walks out of the car. It's Johnny Tran, chat. He's out on bail, and he's gotta make that money, honey. He's got to earn the respect of his family, that honor. He's like Zuko now, chat. He's like Prince Zuko. I need my honor. I must defeat the Avatar. I mean, Dominic Toretto. And so that's who Jesse's going to go up against. And they're like, oh, fucking shit, Jesse, you shouldn't have done that. Jesse's like, don't worry, dog, I got this. And so Jesse and Johnny Tran, they're all lined up and boom, bro. And they go off racing, chat. And fucking you know, Jesse, he activates the NOS, and he starts driving super fast, but fucking Johnny's like, I got even better NOS. And he takes off, and he passes Jesse and fucking wins the race. And Jesse fucking panics. He's like, oh, he just takes off. He just takes off. And it is like, is he going to come back? And he's not coming back anytime soon. And fucking now, I'm on Johnny Tran's side here, because it's like, hey, that fucking guy owes me his car and that money. And he's like saying, like pointing at Dom, he's like, you go down, you go fucking get him for me. He's like, I'm not a goddamn delivery boy, okay? All right? You don't fucking bring that shit here. Like, on your turf, that may fly. Here, we're all fucking equals here, Johnny. He's like, fuck you, Toretto. He's like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. And then they fucking start fighting, chat. And Dominic is just on this guy, just beating the shit out of just Johnny Tran. The security are like, stop hurting him. They're very large and in charge. Stop hurting him. They get him off of them. It's just not going well. It's not going well. And at this point, they're all panicking. They're like, okay, shit. Jesse he fucked up. But if we just do one big score, if we just ride one last time, we could pay off Johnny Tran and maybe get him a different car and we'll be okay. And then Jesse, because he's family, man, we gotta help him. We can help him. Because they gotta take off. And Brian sees all this shit. He knows something's up. And like Dom, Letty, Johnny, and Vince, or not, whatever, fucking Leon, they all drive away. And Brian's like, goes up to me, he's like, Mia, where are they going? Where are they going? She goes, I mean, I can't tell you, Brian, okay? I can't tell you. She's like, but we're fucking family, Mia. I thought, you know, we're all family. He goes, listen, it's not important right now, okay? It's just for, don't worry about it. He's like, listen, okay, there's some serious fucking shit going down, all right? Because, that's the other thing. I think in the scene they set up there, for whatever reason, the LAPD, they're going to be monitoring Toretto like all the time now. And so they're definitely going to be able to track him down when he's riding, like doing all his crimes and shit. And apparently they've armed all the truck drivers in LA, like all the Panasonic TV truck drivers. Apparently, like, you can have a full weapons arsenal and they don't know what they're getting into. And Brian's like, listen, it's fucking serious, okay? I need your help. We got to find him. And she's like, why? What's the big deal? Because I'm a fucking police officer, Mia. She's like, what? Yes. Okay, and he's gonna get in fucking big trouble. Letty and Vince and the other guy, I don't know his name because doesn't really get much to do in the movie. I gotta help him. She's like, you fucking betrayed me and we had sex and oh my god, I fucking hate you. We gotta get going. He's like, shit. And so we cut to Dom and the rest of them, and they've parked all their super duper big black cars with the green neon lights. But apparently, Chad, they're going after this truck in the broad daylight before they did at night. And fuck, everyone's like, Johnny and Vince and Letty are like, listen, Dom, this is just not a good idea. We just don't feel like this is right now. I mean, we got to prepare more. He's like, don't give me that. We got to do this job. We got to help Jesse. He family. And they're like, all right, shit. And so they drive off. Meanwhile, we cut to Mia and Brian. He fucking calls up the police trying to get a track on where Dom might be, where this Panasonic truck might be, and he's trying to get exactly. Somehow he fucking figures it out with the help of one of the people at the station. They like, oh yeah, they're gonna find it right there. He's like, we gotta go, and Mia's like, I don't even know who you are. She's very upset. Eventually, Chad transitions. It's full fucking daylight now, and they're down a guy. So Jesse, he's been part of these crimes too, but he's not involved. So they're down a fucking car, Chad. It's only 3, and so Dom, Johnny, and Letty, they roll up on this fucking truck, and they do the whole fucking thing that they've done before. Like Vince, he gets the fucking harpoon and tow cable, shoots it through the fucking window, rips out the window, gets the other harpoon and tow cable, shoots through the fucking seat, and is connected there. And he starts making his way across. But Dom, he's got those eagle-eye Vin Diesel pitch black Riddick eyes, chat. And he spots that this fucking truck driver has a sawed-off shotgun. He's loaded. It's like, what? Again, so unrealistic. And he starts, he's like, Vince! And Vince doesn't hear him, chat. And Vince gets to the truck, but oh no! And the truck driver, he's like, oh yeah, and boom! Blows his fucking hand off. He's like, oh! And he's got like no fingers, chat. He's got a meat patty hamburger for a hand. Oh! And he's holding on the truck, chat, as the truck driver's just filling the gun with more slugs, just trying to hit, just shooting the shit out of his own truck, chat. This truck driver, by the way, I think it's literally, chat, have you ever seen Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior? It's the same scene. It's the exact same fucking scene if the truck driver is the good, which technically he is the good guy in this scenario. But it's like Max driving the truck and the little feral kids like on the car, and then the fucking one of the leather daddies like trying to get the feral kid. It's the same exact scene. So Vince is like trying to stop the fucking bleeding out of his destroyed fucking hand, and he's holding on for dear life. And this, by the way, this is the villain of the movie, chat. This truck driver. So from here on out, I'm going to do something special. We're going to be ranking all of the Fast and Furious villains in the franchise. And so the first villain in this being the truck driver from Fast and Furious 1. So far, Chet, he is number 1 on my list because this guy is good. I don't know, you barely see him. He's just a guy with just like a trucker's cap and some glasses, and he's fucking knows how to rock that goddamn shotgun, Chet. He's like Ash Williams with that fucking thing. Just cocking of one hand and ba-boom. But Vince is trying to hang on for dear life, and each car is trying to get, around it. Like, at first, Dom is trying to get, like, Vince off of it. Like, Vince, come on, jump back. He's like, oh, I can't. And, like, the truck driver, he cocks the gun. Boom, he shoots, like, the tire of Vin Diesel's car. He doesn't, like, burst the tire because they're bulletproof, but it still fucks it up. He's like, it's like rolling, it's like moving a lot slower. Eventually, Letty, she comes up behind him, and she's trying to get fucking Vince off. But this fucking truck driver goes ba-boom, just reloading and shooting in the Letty, and her car goes, oh, just a million fucking flippies, and she crashes shit, and she's like, oh, damn, it's like she's dead. And fucking Dom's like, go back for Letty, and, Letty's like, damn, which, because she probably said, that's why she sounds the way she sounds, because all her fucking teeth got knocked out. And Johnny goes back, he pulls Letty out of the car, and she's all just vomiting blood and shit. It's like, oh, shit. She got some internal injuries. She drags out of the car. But Dom's still trying to get Vince. He's, like, coming right up on it. But the guy, like, shoots through, like, the truck driver. He cocks the gun and fires. And the bullets go right through the car door and, like, get Vince right in the kidneys. And just, like, takes out a love handle. It's like, oh! So Vince is just getting really fucked up, chat. He's just hanging on for dear life. Also, the harpoon and tow cable, the tow cable wrapped around his other arm, which was, the one that's not like a meat patty now, and it's literally just cutting into it, chat, and you can just see, like, all the blood and tissue and muscle just being serrated slowly. It's like, oh my God. And eventually, Dom's like, this is so hard. But then fucking Brian, he pulls up, chat. Brian, he's fucking racing. He's like, I got it, Dom, I got it. And he pops his fucking, Dom's like, you're my best bro. Bros for life, Dom. Bros for life, Brian. It's been a long way. And all that shit. Eventually, Brian, he pulls up to the side of the truck. He's like, Vince, give me your hand. Truck driver's like, no, you won't. Boom! He's trying to shoot him. Eventually, though, Brian, he grabs Vince, he jumps on the truck, he grabs Vince, he gets the fucking tow cable off of him, and he throws him back in the truck, and he jumps on top of the car, like, oh! And the truck just fucking continues forward, chat, and the truck driver, he got away, chat, to fight another day. So, the truck driver, he did a pretty goddamn, he's technically not a villain, but he is the villain of this movie. And so at the moment, chat, truck driver is Fast Furious 1 is the best villain in the franchise, chat. We'll continue to rank them as we go. We'll see what happens in Fast 2 Furious or Fast Furious Tokyo Drift. Can they beat the truck driver? We'll see. But he did a good job, chat. I mean, he really stopped. Like, honestly, if I was, oh God, what's her name? Charlize Theron in, F9, I wouldn't have gotten John Cena. I would have gotten the truck driver from Fast and Furious 1 because he did the most damage to any of the fucking crew. I guess Johnny Tran is a villain. Nah, it's the truck driver. The truck driver is far more competent than Johnny Tran, Chad. I think we can all agree. Okay, listen, you want me to rank the villains so far in the Fast franchise? Okay, let's do it. Truck driver, Johnny Tran. Truck driver's number 1. Johnny Tran is number 2. That is just the way it is. He'd be 60, but he kicked their asses, chat. And this is before the Fast and Furious crew. Actually, you know what, chat? No, I'm wrong. The true villain of this movie is Gravity because Gravity still applies. So it's Gravity, then the truck driver, and then Johnny Tran. That's what I'll give it. That is the ranking of the villains in this movie because Gravity applies. They get their asses kicked. After that, the truck keeps going. They pull off to the side of the road. Dom pulls up to him. They drag Vince on. Vince is just fucking bleeding out, Shame. He's got a meat patty of a hand. His fucking love handle and his kidneys are gone. It's like, ooh, and fucking Brian. He's like, this is Officer O'Brien O'Connor. And Dom, the look on Vin Diesel's face, chat, it's like a sad puppy. It's like a sad puppy. He's like, it's not crying. He's not crying, but it's just like, you start to go, he's like, bro. Just the expression on his face is of eternal sadness, chat. It breaks your heart. It breaks your heart, chat. And he's just like, I don't know what to do anymore. And he tries to stop the bleeding. Eventually, they call down a helicopter, chat, and they get Vince in there. Vin Diesel, he just walks away after. He's not even looking at Brian. And Mia, she's caught in between Brian, the guy who she's fallen in love with, and she wants a baby inside of. She wants him to put a baby in her, and also her brother, Chad, and that's like her family. She's like, I don't know what to do. Jesus. Okay, and she goes with Vin Diesel, and they drive away. And Brian's like, oh boy, this is awkward. This is gonna be awkward. And so he goes back to the Toretto homestead, chat. He pulls up and he sees Dom about to leave in the muscle car. Shirts is covered in blood, rocking a fucking shotgun. And he's like, Dom, I gotta fucking bring you in, Dom. I gotta do this, man. I gotta do this. And Dom's like, I'm never going back to jail, Brian. That's what I told you. Now get out of my fucking way. He's like, where's Mia? Where's Letty? Where's the other one? I guess name is Johnny, possibly also named Leon. He's like, they're long gone, man. They're long gone. It's just me and you, Brian. It's just you and I. What's it gonna be, Brian? Come on, man. I brought you into my home. It's what you do. I'm a fucking cop, man. It's what I do. It's like, so are they your family? Do we mean nothing? I didn't say that, man. It just goes back and forth until eventually you hear Mia. She's like, fucking Dom, stop. Just stop it. He's like, Mia, get back in the house. Okay, get back and get your things to go. We got to get going. It's like, it's tough shit. Also, there's another shot in the movie they're setting up the ending of the film where Dom always is talking to Letty, and there's one really super fucking hot scene where he's just Dom and Letty are repairing this car, and they're getting all hot and bothered, and he just grabs Michelle Rodriguez's ass and lifts her up in the air. She's like, oh, it's so fucking hot. And it's like, I always dream about us, Letty. And she's like, what do you dream about? Dom, I see us in Mexico on a beach just making love. She's like, that's hot, Dom. And then they make love. Hot, sweaty garage sex love. But eventually, Chad, all of them are interrupted, including the garage sex. When Jesse, he pulls up, he's like, guys, and he squeezes hard. He does. I'm not hard with a W. Hard. But Jesse rolls up in his car. He's like, guys, I think I really fucked up. I don't know what to do anymore. And they hear this, the crotch rockets are like, whoa. And time slows down, Chad, as Johnny Tran and another fellow Triad member, they somehow just were watching the house, and they see Jesse, and they go, and they just start shooting chats, a fucking drive-by with Tech 9s, baby. And Jesse's like, he just gets all the bullets in his tum-tum, chat. He just gets shot to shit. And fucking Mia's like, no! And she's like, oh, Jesus. And Dom, he's like, Jesse. He's like holding him and shit. And Brian's like, holy shit. He's like, oh, God, get paramedics over here right now. And Tommy just fucking takes off, and he gets into his car. And he's like, oh, because that's the thing. They're going to, no, we're not taking off because we want to fucking chase down Johnny Tran, this other guy. And so Dom and Brian, they both get in their fucking cars. And like, Mia, you wait here for the paramedics. We got to go and kill this son of a bee. He's almost as evil as the truck driver. And Gravity, of course. And so they chase after this guy. And again, this is the most unrealistic, other than the beginning scene, and also I guess the truck driving scene when like there's no fucking traffic on this freeway, but okay, whatever. There's no fucking traffic in this area in downtown Los Angeles. They're chasing after Johnny Tran and his compatriot. I mean, they're going through this LA neighborhood, chat, and eventually they run the one guy off the road. He goes, oh, and he gets impaled like on a lamppost. He's like, and he dies. Eventually, Johnny Tran's death isn't like all that big a deal because Brian is literally just, again, very difficult to do. Can't actually do it. It's like, all right, whatever. But he's driving and he pulls out his gun and goes bang, bang, bang. And he clips Johnny Tran in his love handle. He goes, my tummy. And he falls and he slides on the asphalt, which I guess fucks you up anyway. And fucking Brian, he stops the car, he runs out, and Johnny Tran is just dead. He's just like, he's just dead. And then he sees Dom racing away in his muscle car. And eventually Brian gets back in his orange race car, and he gets there, and they meet at a traffic light. And they both stop, and they look at each other, and Dom's like, I used to drag race here after school. Every time that fucking light would turn green, we'd see who can get to the train tracks first. Never pass them. They'd be the winner. And Brian's like, let's have a race, Dom. Let's go, brother. And then they wait, they look at the light, and they wait until it goes red, green, and they go, and they go super fast. They go super fast, chat, but it's like they're matched perfectly. They're matched perfectly, and they activate that NOS. They activate that NOS shit and go, goo, and they're going so fast, chat, they're activating hyperspeed. They're going to plan, but they see Brian's like, oh, and Dom's like, whoa, and they see a fucking trains are coming, chat. They see that hype train are coming. It's going choo, choo, chugga, 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 chugga. They're like, whoa, we gonna make it? Because Dom's car is getting all like, it's all sputtering and shit. But and this is the big action moment in the movie, which is so tame compared to what we will later see. It's incredible. But eventually they get right there, chat. Like, soon as they're like passing over, the train's like an inch from them. But they jump over it and they do it, chat. They do it. And fucking Brian and Vin Diesel look at each other and go, you have my respect. But oh no, a car is like backing out. Funny enough, a Panasonic car or a Panasonic truck. It's like, whoa. And Vin Diesel tries to get out of the way, but he goes to the fucking truck and whoa. And he does like a billion flippy jumps until it comes in and lands. And Brian's like, no, Dom. And he gets out of his car. He's like, and he gets Dom. Dom is actually injured. He's actually like, and Brian decides to move him. Looks like he has definitely like neck injury or spinal injury. His arm is clearly broken or out of its socket. It's like he's fucked up. He's bleeding. And it's like we'll never see these injuries again in a Fast and Furious film, like post 5 on. This won't happen. But he drags him out. He drags him out of the car. Here's the thing about this crash might also explain Vin Diesel's mumble growl because I couldn't understand what he was saying throughout this movie until the scene where he sounds something gargling rocks, which makes sense for this scene because he got really fucked up. They got 5 minutes, by the way. But he drags him out, and, they hear those sirens come. They hear those sirens come, and he's like, thanks, brother. And fucking, Brian's like, oh, you've always told me, Vince. You always told me, Dom. You've always told me. He's like, what have I always told you? You told me to always live my life a quarter mile at a time. I respect that. You keep living yours that quarter mile at a time. And he presents the keys to him. He's like, you serious? He goes, I am. You do know this is going to change everything. He's like, I understand. Get going. Get going. He fucking gets in the car, and he drives off. And then the cops show up, and boom, it's the end of the movie. But it's not the end of the movie, chat. It's not the end of the movie. Because then we cut, and we're in Baja, Mexico, chat. And we see Vin Diesel. And Vin Diesel says, Brian, he told me to live my life a quarter mile at a time. And that's when I knew I'd be truly free. And he runs and he drives off the distance, chat. And that, my friends, is the Fast and the Furious. By scene breakdown of the Fast and the Furious. Bat Shields, thank you so much for the 5 biddies. Your advice. Actually, Rowan breaks his arm in Too Fast, Too Furious, clears throat. Well, I said like post 5 on. Not those. So those films, gravity still applies. Doesn't have to make Triple X Xander Cage. Well, no, Triple X. Does he make Triple X like the year later? I think that's what he made. I think it was the same year. No, he made it the same year. That's right. But there you go, Chad. That was my review for the Fast and the Furious. The first film in the Fast saga, which I'll be reviewing for the rest of, a lot of June, Chad. This will be it. Thank you, Mordecai, for the 5 biddies. This crash activated Dom's innate X gene. Once this accident happened, he became super dumb. Makes sense. Vin Brand, human program shuts down after credits. Low full price for you, Dick Derrick, sir. Chris Ayers, oh my God, with the 2,600 biddies. Oh my Lord. Oh no, Piercy Boy, excuse me. Piercy Boy with the 2,600 biddies. Piercy Boy, pleasure to have you here, and thank you so much for those 2,600 biddies. You've come here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and you're all out of bubble gum. Thank you, Piercy Boy, for that incredible generosity. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord, my friend. I'm sorry. I saw Chris Ayers' name was first, but thank you, Piercy Boy. Seriously, cheers and salute to you, my friend. May the wings of the as a feather. You shake the pills of heaven as we speak. Thank you. Deadpool. For 20 years, I didn't know there was an end credit stinger until I recently watched the movie a few months. Yeah, it has it. It's right there. It's right there. It's cool. It's very quick. It's very quick. But yeah, he goes to Mexico. But it's just him. You don't see Letty. You don't see Mia. You assume they're there, though. Wow. Thank you so much, chat. Piercy Boy, how you doing? Rating indeed. No, chat, I would give this. This is a solidly entertaining movie. This is the very definition of a matinee film, chat. Really liked it a lot. I think there are better films in this franchise. We'll get to those eventually. But no, it's a really entertaining film. This is great. I mean, the chemistry of all the characters, the actors, I think do a pretty goddamn good job. Like, some of the acting in 2 and 3 is pretty bad from what I recall. But the first one's like, this is great. Like, the chemistry, you buy the relationship between, whether it's Dom and Letty or Mia and Brian. It's like, those are the 4 that really work. The other characters are like, Jesse, Johnny, Vince, like whatever. But those 4, they do a really good job. And I like it. And the action's fun. I mean, it's grounded, super, like chat. Literally, like the big action scene is that truck scene with Vince. It's crazy to think. It's like, oh, you know, we started with that. And now we're literally in a rocket car going to the moon. It's nuts. Thank you, No Name One, for the 20 days. And I say to the cringe-worthy early 2000 tropes, good riddance, great review. Thank you. There's a lot of them. The soundtrack of this film is not great. There's a lot of techno, a lot of just loud. It's like techno of lyrics. I'm like, I don't like this at all. There's some really bad CGI at times. All the practical ground effects look good to this day because ground is practical. They usually age better. But yeah, some issues in that regard. That's just think of 5 biddies. If you ever have a phase when you were younger where you wanted to have a race car. Excuse me. Did I ever have a phase where you were younger where you wanted to have a race car like Fast and Furious or Street Race? The thing is, man, when I first saw these movies, I thought they were fine. It wasn't like my thing. I knew people that who watched these movies who were obsessed with cars. I never cared about cars, which is why I wasn't like the biggest fan of. Like, I liked the first one fine, and I remember not liking Too Fast, Too Furious. I remember like not really caring about Tokyo Drift. Although I think Tokyo Drift is kind of underappreciated now because I've seen it years since then. I wasn't a big fan until like the 5th one. I was like, okay, this is more where it becomes really goofy. They become like professional thieves and spies. I was like, all right, this is more my thing. Like 5, 6, and 7, that's like, that's my favorite ones. We'll get to those someday, chat. Yeah. You didn't like Saliva Superstall? No. I did not. Love cars, but I never interested in these movies. I was never a big car guy, chat. I was never really into them. Wow, we got 100 people here, chat. Thank you so much. Just finished my review for The Fast and the Furious. I'll be doing the entire series for the next couple of weeks in preparation for the release of F9. Tomorrow, chat, I'll be doing Too Fast, Too Furious, but the stream is not yet over, chat. The stream is not yet over. I will be jumping into Mass Effect 2 for some single-player shenanigans. I'm just going to take a brief break, chat. In the meantime, thank you, Boss, for the 1 biddy. I'll be right back. Please entertain yourselves amongst yourselves. Stick around, my friends. Family.